Beautiful words to take to heart, to carry with us, and to be. This theme, I am, is running through the whole morning, not coincidentally, but I believe purposefully, for we are, I am. So last Sunday we took a little break from breaking these 10 commandments. Give me a rest. So let's get back to it today and start breaking these 10 commandments again. Is anybody enjoying breaking the 10 commandments? Going against the grain of what we were taught all of our lives to keep them and uphold them. But when we break them and when we tear them down, we can build them back up to be even more meaningful than we had ever imagined. Today we move into Exodus 20:13. You shall not kill. You might already say, well, I'm good with that because I would never imagine killing someone. I would never go out and kill another person, so we can just go home, right? Hold on just a minute. Maybe not. Let's look a little deeper at what this commandment is really saying, because it goes far beyond our justification for killing animals for our sustenance. It goes beyond killing for self-defense that we as humans tolerate. We make laws about it that allow it. And killing insects, now we honor the life of insects. They are part of the food chain. One helps another. One eradicates another by being part of that. And we as a country and other countries across the globe invoke the death penalty when someone has committed a heinous crime. And have we not gone to war to defend against oppressors? Our society, and most of us, can justify killing in perhaps at least one of those areas, right? We can justify it. We can think through and logically say, yes, that's A-okay. And by quoting Ecclesiastes 3, we have some support in that. To everything there is a season, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. And you know the rest of it. So we justify our opinions, we justify our actions in regard to this commandment. You shall not kill. After all, who of us has not swatted away a mosquito? It's a natural thing to do. Who has not stepped on an ant? Again, it's a pretty natural thing to do. We exterminate our homes, right? And we feel comfortable doing that to keep our places of abode free from those ants, termites, other creatures that might make its way into our home and destroy it. We think nothing of taking care of that. And we know that each of the Abrahamic faiths, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, all call us to live by this commandment. You shall not kill. Now, Reverend Eric Butterworth, reminds us that history shows some of the most brutal and ferocious wars in our history were religious wars. And many of us raised in traditional Christianity might have even sung the song, "Onward, Christian Soldiers," marching as to war. We have rallied behind battle cries under the umbrella of patriotism to support any of the wars that our country has engaged in around the world to fight the oppressors, to fight someone who may harm us in our view. And today we justify our country retaliating against anyone who might attack us. It makes perfect sense to us. And we seem to make very good sense of that until we rub up against, "You shall not kill." And we remember the words of Jesus in Matthew 5:28-29. "You have heard it said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. I say to you, do not resist evil. If anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also." Turn the other cheek. How many of us were raised with that? That we don't engage in fist fights or slapping. We turn the other cheek. And what that means is that we are to turn and gather a different perspective of the experience. To turn the other cheek was we look in a different direction. To transcend the experience that's going on around us. We may not be able to alter what is happening. And when we look across the world, we might feel pretty helpless some days to have a positive influence on world events, right? And that's what we would want to do, have a positive influence, to contribute positive energy, to contribute a vibration of love. But we might not be able to change the events. And we can always lend our higher consciousness. But that means we have to stay out of the fray of the argument of who is right and who is wrong, and look more to what is right. What is right for our world? So rather than retaliation, we move from the place of deep understanding. And we talked in the book study this morning how important it is to understand one another, not just in this lovely group of unity people who gather on Sunday morning, but others in the world who practice their faith so much differently than we do. Those who live their lives differently than we do. Those who pray differently, vote differently, love differently, show up differently. That we are to engage them so that we can move from a deeper consciousness of understanding. It's very difficult to hate someone when you sit down and hear their story. To hear how they came to the place that they are today. What brought them to the space they occupy. What life experiences have guided them to where they are today. Just like every single person here and visiting from home, we all have our life story. Full of hurts, full of joys, full of pain, full of happiness. All of those things. And we all bring that as we show up in the world. So when we sit with one another, when we have conversation, when we put aside the idea that we are separate because we look differently, pray differently, love differently, then we can look at each other, as we said this morning, as the beautiful soul they are, as the beautiful expression of the divine they are. And we can garner that deep understanding. And hopefully, people are coming into our life to understand us as well, so that it's a mutual relationship, a beautiful movement, a dance of spirits, one with another. That's how we move into that deep, rich spiritual understanding. And rather than fighting, we can move with compassion because we see the other. You know that movie, Avatar, I see you. I see you. It's a theme throughout the movie. I see you. So what do we see when we look at one another? Do we see the things that the world has put into place that divide and separate and sift and sort us, or do we see that oneness of all humanity, that beautiful thread of humanity that weaves itself through the souls of all of us? Do we see that? That's where we get the understanding and compassion. And Jesus went on to say in Matthew 5:43-45, you have heard it said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy, but I say to you, love your enemy and pray for those who persecute you. Easy, right? Love your enemy. Well, that sounds crazy. That's not where we go to first when someone affronts us, someone insults us, someone belittles us, disparages us. Even if we only perceive that to be happening, our first thought probably isn't to, oh, I love you. I love the spirit that you are. Thank you. That's not really in our humanness. It's to retaliate, to get even, to settle the score, to put things back on par with each other. Oh, but what would happen if we wrapped the person who affronts and assaults us, if we wrap them in love? Anthony DeMello says, sign of advanced spirituality in a person is to respond to hatred with love. Respond to hatred with love. Certainly a practice that we can begin, that we can grow, that we can set our intention to be that power and presence of love even in those moments of difficulty. The only way we can change an experience for the better, for a good outcome, is to pour that divine power of love over it. Now that's just not Karen being Pollyanna. That's the divine truth. The power of love has a much greater vibrational frequency than resentment. Think of how you feel when you feel resentment towards someone. It's a pretty low feeling, isn't it? Yes. And then think of the feeling of love when you're pouring your love over a little puppy or a newborn babe or your beloved. It's a different feeling. It's a much higher feeling, is it not? Think of the feeling of anger or punishing or shame or guilt or condemning or revenge. When we're in that mindset of revenge, it's pretty low there on the vibrational frequencies. It's how can we get back? How can we get even? How can we settle the score? It's not how can we love this person? How can we put love into this experience? And the same with fear. When we're in that place of fear, we're contracted and we're small. And when we move to that place of love, we're expanded. We want to share our love. We want to share that frequency of love that gives us that little high. We want others to experience that too. Thistle Farms that I've talked about before has a tagline that says, love is the most powerful agent for change in the world. I believe that to be true. Love is the most powerful agent for change. I was at an event this week, and a beautiful, eloquent, tall Muslim man said, The thing that gives him hope is knowing that truth and love will always prevail. That's the power of love. You shall not kill. This commandment isn't taken literally to heart, and we look at the Webster Dictionary for the first definition. It is to deprive life. We can all see that. That's pretty simple. To kill is to end life. But further down the list, as usually happens, there's another definition, and it says to destroy the active qualities. Now hang on to that definition, to destroy the active qualities, because with that definition we begin to see you shall not kill as more than killing another person. It's a rule that we can live by every day to lift our consciousness, to enrich our relationships with others, coworkers, friends, and family. And I'm going to ask us to go back to that third commandment, that you shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Remember that? And we talked about that a couple of Sundays ago. And what is the name of the Lord our God? We just heard it in the daily word. We heard it in this beautiful song with Sakwi. What is it? I am. Yes. So when we take the I am in vain by claiming that which is not our true nature, I am broke. I am stupid. Has anyone said that? That's me being stupid. I am old. I am sick. I am tired. I am sick and tired. These are anything not our divinity. We are killing the activity of our divinity. The active qualities of our divinity are being killed when we say those disparaging, not true things of ourselves. Now, I may feel tired on any given day, so I take a nap. But I am not a tired person. I am invigorated with the life and the love of Spirit, always. Taking the name of God, the I am, in vain, we are also depriving life. We are destroying the active qualities of our divine consciousness, of our true nature. We are killing that. We are killing the pure, perfect essence of our own identity. These are not so subtle ways that we kill. Go back to the daily word. Sometimes I might forget my divine identity by thinking of myself as weak, incapable, or unfortunate. Ever have those thoughts? Yeah, from time to time. If I've spoken disempowering words about myself, I release this thought and stop using the words. So we stop using those words. Most of us would consider our anger and resentment, our revenge, our unforgiveness, and our gossip. We wouldn't consider those things as killing. But when we think about it in that context of the active quality of the I am, we are indeed killing those very things. These are the thought patterns that are not life-giving. These are the thought patterns that are denying life because they are denying love, which is our true essence, which is the truth of us. And perhaps we haven't considered that we might be devaluing someone's ideas and killing their hopes and dreams with our words. Have you ever heard yourself saying, "Oh my gosh, that'll never work"? Or, "What were you thinking?" Or, oh, that's your plan? I sure hope you have a backup plan. Many of us have heard those things. Many of us have used those words. This is more than raining on someone's parade, so to speak. This is destroying the active qualities of the person. It's destroying the active quality of their imagination. It's doubting and questioning and minimizing and killing their discernment, their judgment, their ability to carry out their own life. We're killing their spirit. We are killing their dreams and their hopes and their aspirations, and possibly even that divine inspiration that has come to them, uniquely to them. We might not understand it, but that's not our job. Our job is to love them through it. You shall not kill. Honor your father and your mother. Honor the Sabbath. Don't take the name of the Lord in vain, and don't make graven image, and have no other gods. These are the beginning of the commandments, the first 6 that we've already broken apart. So take this into your everyday with a new meaning, with a new way of seeing and hearing and being and living these 10 commandments. And above all, let all you do be done with love. Namaste.